Hello, hello. Welcome to the Progress Over Perfection Mighty Network coaching call for Thursday, January 27th. I waited about a half an hour. No one showed up. So we're going to do a training call and we're going to talk about Instagram today. This isn't going to be a call with specific how-to. This is going to be a call of why. Why and what. Okay, how to set your Instagram up for prime success, what to do with your bio, how many highlights should you have, stories, what should be in your feed. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. We're going to go to my Instagram. We're going to do a little bit of overhauling so that I can show you sort of how to set it up. And I'll walk you through doing it the same. So this is my Instagram here. I'm on a hiatus right now, so it looks busy, but it's not as busy. You see no highlight around me because I don't have any stories. I'm on a 21-day social media hiatus right now. We won't address that here, but let me just say, if you ever feel panicky that you shouldn't be off social media, it's probably a good time to go off of social media. So we're going to start with the bio and we're going to work our way down. What are important features of our bio? Let me show you a really good bio. Brock Johnson, who, if you don't follow him, you should, because he's got tons of great information about Instagram and business growth, Instagram growth. The important features of the bio, and this is sort of depends on who you are. Lots of people have started putting in this first line what they do as opposed to their name. If you look at this, you'll notice his name is nowhere in here. Now, this is hard because our ego wants to tell people our name. We want people to know who we are. But again, no one cares who you are. That's just true. They don't care about your name unless you're Tom Cruise. What they want to know is, how do you help me? What do you do for me? How does following you improve my life? Right? So what he does is right here. Now he includes this line about his faith because that's an important part of his business. And that's totally fine and awesome. Do that if you feel called to do it. But the most important pieces of this are, he tells people what he does. I help entrepreneurs and creators with organic Instagram growth. Now, he shows us how he did it. He grew his follower by 250,000 people in 6 months. Look, he's got 354,000 followers. And then he tells us what he is. So this is factoid, right? 7-figure business owner at 24 years of age, humble brag maybe. And then this is his call to action. You want coaching? Click this link. So the important features are, I'm going to tell you what I do and who I do it for. I'm going to show you how I did it. I'm going to give you a little brag. And if you need coaching, click here. That's my call to action. Okay, so let's go to my bio. I have revamped my bio over and over to try to see what felt right to me. I'll show you where it is right now. I'm going to change it. I'm going to show you how to change it. So right now, this is what it says. Joni Edelman, hype girl. Some people will put their name here on this line. They'll change this to what they do. They'll change this to their name. So we can play around with that. But let's go in and edit my profile. So what if I change this to be, okay, so let's do some of the changes I talked about. Instead of my name, since my name is there, let's change this to, I don't know how many characters I can fit. So let's see. Let's try trauma informed coaching. Oops. I don't think I can fit leadership. Let's see. If it won't let me save it, I'll have to make it shorter, but I'm going to copy and paste it, because what happens if you can't save it is that you end up, it deletes it and goes back to the beginning. So let's see. Yeah, enter a name under 30 characters. Okay, so let's try again. How many characters is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Okay. How about Do we want to say trauma-informed coaching or leadership? Let's say coaching. Okay, and then what if I put my name here and I said Joni M. Edelman, Hype Girl, right? What if I did wife, mama? I could do this. What if I do this? Put this here. Wife, mama, granny, milkmaid, RN, and Hype Girl. Let's see if that fits. Okay, so I'm going to delete this one. Okay, so I use human design in my leadership, and I say click below to change your life. I'm going to put this star here. Click below and change your life. Okay, I'm going to copy this in case it doesn't save. So this says who I am, which probably isn't necessary, but I'm attached to it still. What I do, helping women heal through human design. I don't have my proof on here of how I did it. I could include something there, but I'm going to think about that. So let's see if it'll fit. Profile saved. Okay, great. So let's see how that looks. Okay, so I'm going to leave that the way it is right now. Next, let's move on to your profile photo. Your profile photo should be of you, ideally your face, or at the very least, your upper body, so that it's recognizable as you. When you are building an online presence, if you're selling something, whether it be coaching or a product, you're really selling yourself. People need to trust you. They need to recognize you. And we talked about this in the branding video, which you can review on the site. It's under Branding 101. But it's important that people know who you are and they recognize you by your branding, right? They see, well, that's her. That's Joni. I recognize her. She's got pink. She's got orange. That's what she does, right? So I have a video on my, is it in my videos or in my reels? Here it is. If you need to know how to do one of those, here's a video for it. It's under my videos, not my reels. So take a look at that if you want to make one of those for yourself. This is really nice. There's a lot of pop there. Pluses and minuses of sort of specific color branding might be, it does limit your palette a little bit, but that would be a minus. But a plus is it makes content creation pretty easy if you always know what colors you're using, number one. And number two, it makes it recognizable, right? Now you've sort of boxed yourself in. If you're using pink, that's your color, then you've got to be realistic about using pink. But you see what I'm saying? Decide what your color, what's your signature color, and put it around your face and make yourself pop. Bright colors are actually better. I'm about due to change this anyway. I don't want to have this picture there anymore. So we'll fix that another day. But all right, moving down. Make sure you have a link in your bio, whether it is to a milkshake or a link tree, or in my case, I actually created using Canva, a landing page. Let me show you what it looks like. This is actually hosted like a website. So you see here, it opens into a website. Canva does this for you. Canva will give you a website address. How you do that is when you are in Canva and you go to share, you can go here to share, see all, website. Now watch what happens. If you make this as a website, open it, it will open. This is now your link. You can copy this link, and regardless of what you do to the document over here, it will populate to that website. This is a really effective way to share a link that you have designed yourself that you like. This is my link, right? This is all me, and I love this. So there's a couple of different ways, but make sure you have something, and don't have it just be a link to buy your product or your business opportunity. You're a multifaceted human being, and so are your customers or clients. So make sure when you're speaking to them that you're speaking not just to buy my product, right? Podcast, join the group, read my writing, book a call, get a free workbook. See, there's lots of options there. Speaking of that, I need to resize that. But each of these is a link and we'll go somewhere. Okay, so back here. Now, your highlights. How many highlights should you have? What should they be about? That is up to you. I have a lot. As you can see, I've got a lot of highlights. They cover a lot of different things, but the great thing about a highlight is it's always there. We have a video on how to make a highlight done by team member Leah, and it is also on our College and Evangelist page under Social Media 101. So if you don't know how to make a highlight, you can do it. Now, as far as branding your highlights go, there are lots of different ways that you can do this. Some people actually sell icons pre-made. You can get them on Etsy. And they have little designs on them or whatever, but it is easy enough to go into your Canva and just make a colored graphic square, act like you're going to make an Instagram post and write on it. That's it. Bada boop, bada beep. I keep them in there. I'll show you. I don't know if it'll pop up or not, but how far down it is. But I keep that file active. And so if I ever need to pop in and make a new one, it's easy to find. It's actually in my folders under, where is it? I don't actually know. Somewhere in here. Point being, I can actually find it by searching mic drop, but it doesn't matter. The point is that it's there. I keep it. I already know the dimensions. And so I can just go in and make a new one if I ever need to make a new one. Okay, moving down. Let's talk about your feed. Here's the feed, okay? Now you'll see a pretty clear pattern for me here. I alternate photo with graphic. See how that goes? Now, if you looked at my page, you would have a pretty good idea of my branding, right? I like pink. I like mustard. I like aqua. I like this dark, weird gold color. It used to be more important, the feed itself. It used to be more important in terms of how it looked. Like people tried to be very cohesive with their feed, and it should have a certain flow to it. That's not as important anymore as it used to be. It doesn't matter as much. However, for me personally, I'm a visual person. I like things to look a certain way. So it's important for me. I don't think it's important for my followers, but it is important for me. So I like to have it sort of cohesive in this way. And I'm very intentional about how I plan things so that the colors don't repeat right next to each other. I use Planoly for this. Let's see if I have to log in or if it'll just show me. Yeah. So I use Planoly for this. This is a great tool. If you don't have it, let me know. I have a link for you I can share with you. But this is a great tool because you can map out what it's going to look like, right? You can schedule your posts in advance and you can go, I want this here. I want this here. I don't want that there, right? And you can get a wider picture of your overall feed. Now, what do we do here with product? What's our content base? Now, we can talk about niching, but I actually did a post about niching, and I'll tell you, my feelings on niching are complicated because I don't think, what is a niche? Niche or niche? How do you even say it? Niche is the new buzzword for social media growth. Remember when Instagram was just pictures? Hear me out. I've occupied more than one niche. This is true. I've done everything from body image to marriage. Here's the trick. How important is your niche? And do you even need one? Your niche can help you guide what sort of posts you create and what you're sharing with your audience because you want to focus on adding value. However, and with hashtags as well, right? Hashtags are important. We'll do another video on hashtags, but the thing about niching, as it were, is that I personally have never niched. And the reason I don't niche is because I am my niche. My niche is multifaceted. If I was someone who was building a coaching business and nothing else, if that's all I was doing on Instagram, then I would do that. That would be my niche, right? Let me give you an example. And niches are specific. They're not just wellness, right? They're wellness for blah, blah, blah. Let me give you an example of a niche, right? So I have this account now for my human design stuff. This is the niche. The niche is human design. That's it, period. There's nothing else in here. It's all human design. It's all going to be human design, turning trauma into triumph, implementing the transformative power of human design. I'll probably change this. Again, now my name is here, but anyway, the point is, this is a niche account. I just started it, but that's a niche, right? It's a very specific group of people. This is not. This is just me. This is me. This is what you get. I started in a new human design account because I was feeling pushed or urged. I really wanted to create a lot of human design content. I'm on my hiatus right now, so I'm not. But I wanted to create a lot of human design content. I didn't want to feel like I was bombarding my followers with something they weren't interested in. If they're interested in human design, they can go follow me on that account. And they know they'll get human design. Then I can niche that account and use hashtags to increase my engagement and following there. Simple as that. My niche here is just me. I am my niche. That means you get farm. That means you get mental health. That means you get coaching. That means you get mindset. You get bees. You get cows. You get some information about this who died, one of my favorite Buddhist monks. You get reels, you get funny things, you get Martin Luther King, right? You get a little bit of everything. That works for me. If you want to niche down into content pillars, then refer back to our ideal client worksheet. Use that ideal client worksheet to hone in on who you are niching for, and then create content for that person. So if your niche is moms of special needs kids, then your content is going to reflect your experience with that, your struggle with that, humor around that, right? It's all going to be special needs kids related. Niching has value because it can help you narrow your audience down. But I personally find it to be a little bit like every time I've tried to really niche on my own personal page, I struggle because there's just too many things I want to talk about. I don't want to just talk about one thing. I don't want to just talk about mental health. I don't want to just talk about body image. I have a mental health niche, Instagram, right? So this is all mental health. Every post on here is going to talk about mental health, addiction, PTSD, CPTSD, something along those lines, right? I have a niched site about body image, which I clearly haven't posted on in a very long time. But why did I start this? Because I wanted to talk about body image, and I wanted to talk about body image in a space where that was all I was talking about. So hopefully that makes sense. Ultimately, whether or not you niche is up to you. In the case of someone like Brock, who's growing an Instagram following of people who want advice on Instagram, well, then niching makes sense, right? Let's look at Pink Sparrow. This is someone who I followed when she had 5,000 followers, and she's got 203 now. This is in literally the last year, less than a year. Look, 180K in 180 days. She focused on an area that had a need, and she went into it. But again, this is what she's doing. If you're on Instagram to help people grow their Instagram, it's pretty easy to create a niche around that because people are trying to do it, right? It's quite easy to niche around something that's so needed as this. And she does it really well. And as you can see, she's got her pink theme, right? She's got great stuff. Super good information there. Very worth a follow for anyone who's trying to grow their Instagram. But I think that's so important to recognize whether or not you need a niche and who you're niching to if you're niching. So enough on niching. Let's go into our feed. So in your feed, if you're looking at your feed on your phone, you can see 9 squares. Out of every 9 squares, I would say it's okay to have one business-related post. One. The urge when you start a new business, particularly network marketing, is to share everything like crazy. And what happens? People run. One of the things that I like to do is create posts like this. This is a product post, essentially. It doesn't say it's a product post, but I talk about my body. I talk about my skin. I talk about my skincare. I'm not even trying to sell my product. I'm just showing people what it has done for my 47-year-old face. That's a product post, but it doesn't look like one, right? Where's a business post? That's something else. What's this one? Let's see. This is ADHD. I have a lot of people that follow me for ADHD content. So I do some ADHD stuff. I do a fair amount of it, but you'll see that lots of times if I'm doing posts about business, they don't look like a business post. They just look like a regular. Here's a good one. This one had a lot of views.
Wow. 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 Yeah. Wow. 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 Wow.
Right?
Wow.
So I would suggest in your reels, if you're able to do reels, I probably do between 20 and 30% of my reels are business related. The rest are not. Again, we want to add value before we ask our followers for anything. Let's give them something before we try to take their money, right? So let's be a little intentional in our content creation so that we can share things with people. Here's a good one.
Welcome to Daily Dose of Just Do It. I'm your host, Joni, and this is a 1-minute segment where I channel my inner Joni Robbins, if you will, to challenge you to live your best life today. Bodies.
Right? Again, this is not business related, but it is a post that adds some value because people want to talk about bodies. They want to talk about body image. So I alternate, I move around. I do some reels that are business related, but as you can see, if you're looking at my feed, people are not coming here. They do not think I'm selling something for the most part. Every now and then you'll see me selling something, but it's pretty rare. And I think that we feel like we need to bombard people. Here we go. There's a sales product post, right? We feel like we need to bombard people with our sales information because that's the way we're going to make sales. But I got news for you. The best way to make a sale is to make someone believe that they need the thing that you have without telling them that they need it directly, because people want to be in control of their decisions. They don't want to be told what to do. They don't want to be sold to. They want to be convinced. And they don't want to be convinced forcefully. They want to be convinced through your actions, behavior, language, and results. So pushing to try to sell a product is actually not the best way to sell a product. The best way to sell a product is to relax into it and create from a space of wanting to add value to your followers' lives. And then at some point, they will order things from you. Stories. Let's hit on stories. So you should be posting at least 10 stories a day. That's pretty much, I think, about the minimum. Even if you filled up every single story that Instagram would let you have in one day, that's only 15 minutes of content. Don't worry about overwhelming people with too much. They'll skip if they want to. They'll watch if they want to. And don't worry about what people think about you, because A, it's none of your business what people think about you. And B, what people think about you is not about you. It's usually about them. So post your stories and repeat things. You can talk about a product every single day, because chances are every single person that's watching you isn't watching you all the time, number one. And number two, if they are watching you all the time, they're not going to leave because you're talking about a product. Keep your product information in your stories. Share your product by taking it on camera without talking about your product as well. Just do it as part of your routine and let them see you do it so that they know it's part of your life, right? And then make sure that you have a highlight about your product. Why my collagen? Business, right? There's a lot of talk about not ever letting your stories run dry. I actually like to let my stories run dry periodically, even when I'm not on a hiatus. And if you do let your stories run dry, here's what I would recommend. Let them run dry. And when you come back, start them out with a picture of your face and a poll of some kind. Did you miss me? I was gone for one day. Should I cut my hair? Have you ever had short hair? Do you think short hair is just for men? Right? Do you like my coat? Do you want to know where my coat's from? I'll share the link with you. Right? Start with the poll. The reason for this is because engagement increases your the way Instagram serves you up in the algorithm. So the more people that are engaged with what you're saying, the more likely it is that you're going to be seen by more people. So keep that in mind. And with that in mind, even if you're not letting your stories run dry, make sure that you're periodically including questions or ways for people to engage with you. One day I did nothing but questions all day long. Where did you grow up? Where do you live now? Where would you like to live? Would you like to live abroad? Who was your first kiss? Do you have a traumatic story to tell? Do you, literally, people love to answer questions about themselves, and it's a great way to get engagement. And it's also really fun to learn about your followers too, especially if you don't follow a ton of people, right? You can learn about the ones you do follow. So do that. Go through that process and, spend some time creating some stuff that's going to add some value. If you're part of my team, you get texts at least every now and then that are blank graphics for you to fill out and use in your story and for other people to share. That's another great way to get some exposure, because you put your own hashtag, you put your own Instagram name on there so that when they share it, people know it came from you, right? As the original creator. That's a great way to up that. What else? Filters / presets. I use Lightroom to edit photos. Lightroom is free. It's a Photoshop app on your phone. I have presets that I have bought that I use repeatedly. I have about 3 that I repeat over and over again. I use the same ones pretty much over and over. It is not vital that you use a preset. It's certainly not vital, but I think it's really nice for me if your site has a bit of cohesiveness to it. In other words, let's look at this site. I'll show you this woman who I really love. Her site. Look at this. Beautiful, isn't it? Stunning. She lives in Alaska. Gorgeous. Yellow House in the Woods. If you want to follow her, gorgeous, right? Very cohesive. Very cohesive. Moody, dark, pops of color, right? Very stylized, but beautiful to look at. She's a photographer. Who wouldn't love to look at this, right? It's gorgeous. So this is a person that people follow because it's beautiful. And that's cool. Like, do that. That's totally fine. I like cohesiveness. You will attract whatever you put out. So if you're putting out a cool, happy, energetic vibe, that's what you're going to pull in. And for her, it's a little moody, it's a little dark, it's a little mysterious, right? She's pulling that in. And I love that. I love that our Instagrams can reflect who we are as people and that we can all share and look at different things. But all of the very best Instagram accounts, I think, really are rather cohesive. There is a continuity. It's not all over the place because people do like things that are visually appealing. Now, sometimes people just follow people because what they're doing is fun or funny and they don't care about how it looks. But overall, I don't think you're not gonna go wrong. The nice thing about using something like Lightroom with a preset is that you don't have to think about it. You just pop your picture in there and you apply the preset. And I have, like I said, I have a few because some work better for outdoors, some work better for indoors, but they all have basically the same end result, which is the colors pop a little bit more. They're a little bit more contrasted and they're usually a little bit faded, just a tiny bit faded. There are people you can buy presets from. Lightroom has some built-in ones that are really good. I bought some from Madison. She sells her presets and they're good. They're a little bit, her presets are a little moody for me. They're a little darker than I like. A lot of her stuff is really warm. She loves a warm tone. And I do some warmth, but I'm more of a cool tone person. So the presets that I lean towards are usually the same few and they're, I don't even remember where they're from, but they're all sort of cool. You can create your own preset as well within Lightroom and we can do a training on that at some point, but it makes editing your photos really, really quick and easy when you already know what you're going to do. Look at my girls. Right. Okay. So that's all I'm going to do today on this. I hope that helped you. I would challenge you to get in your profile first and take it step by step. Change your picture if you need to take your picture, revamp, upgrade your profile if it needs to be upgraded. And then, tomorrow or the next day, think about highlights and what highlights you'd like to create. Take a look at your feed. And if there's a bunch of garbage in there, delete it. Delete it. You don't need memes about people not liking you. You don't need, you know what I mean? You don't need Ryan Reynolds. That's confusing to people when they come to your page and you have a bunch of stuff that's not related to you at all. Delete that garbage, delete anything blurry, just get rid of it, hide it. Really look through your page and filter it out, edit it. These are two different videos, by the way, the same video, but on two different subjects. Don't be afraid to do that. Sometimes if I find a sound I really like, I'll just record the sound and then add text. Let's look. I'll show you what I mean. It's 4 p.m. Christmas Eve. You still haven't wrapped a single gift. Let's look at this one. I forgot what this one is. Every mom, 10 a.m. Christmas morning after they stayed up till midnight wrapping gifts. Right. So when I find a sound I like, sometimes I'll just repeat and do more than one reel on it because I think it's funny. And I also think it's funny if you do that and you just add different, like I think that there's an element of comedy there in general, just reusing the same one. So, okay, I hope this was helpful. Holler at me if you have any questions. I'm going to post this in the Progress Over Perfection group now. This is your store. Your Instagram is yours. You're an online business owner. Your Instagram is your shop. This is how people know you're open. If your Instagram is not running and looking like an open shop, people don't know you're open. So you have to be present in there to let people know what you're doing, which is why I have this 21-day hiatus reel right here, or highlight, so that when people come to my page and go, "Where's Joni?" they can click on that. All right. I will see you on next week, Tuesday, for the training call. This turned out to be a training call. So if people show up, that'll be a coaching call. And I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. And I'll see you then.